Welcome to T-Bird Live, the talk show that covers the latest topics, trends, education, and discussion in the worlds of business and technology. Now, here are your hosts, Trina and Rick Bird.
Good evening and welcome to T-Bird Live. Tonight's topic is webinars for beginners. We're going to tell you how to do webinars for free and still have a great webinar product. So, what are webinars? Webinars are the best platform for creating a strong connection with your audience. Webinars are video-based and interactive. Webinars can add value to your product or service in a way that only enhances your marketing efforts and advertising budget. This webinar portfolio includes live webinar, ebook, online training, workbook, training guide, checklists, and cheat sheets. And so that's your basic. That would be my basic ingredients for my webinars. Now, you don't have to do all of that. You can, keep it very simple and just do the live webinar and not have all those added materials such as ebooks and training programs and all that. It could be a specific subject that's specific to getting you more customers for your business. However, it's important to your customers that you have some type of giveaway. And most of the time when you have giveaways, people will be more likely to take a webinar, especially if there's a cost involved, because they feel like they're going to take more than just hearing you speak or teach them something. They have like a takeaway, like a workbook or ebook that they can take away with them and use after the webinar is over. And so there's several types of webinars. Webinars can be created for almost any reason that benefits you or your business. The most popular formats are live webinars or reoccurring or recorded live webinars. And so there's a lot of software out there that'll allow you to do a live webinar. So in other words, the person logs into your webinar format or host, and while you're talking, everybody is listening live, and they can raise their hand and ask questions live, and everybody that's on the webinar can hear them, and in many cases can see them. And it's like being in a regular classroom. Then you have what you call a reoccurring or recorded live webinar, which is simply in a lot of cases a live webinar that got recorded. So it was live at one point and of course became a recorded live webinar that you can have reoccur, like on Facebook or on your web page, or you send it through an email link, and people can watch the webinar over and over and over again. And webinars are definitely a very good tool to actually use, and they don't require a lot of technical background, technical experience, any of that. Your basic requirements would be a laptop or a desktop with a webcam installed, and you need a strong internet connection. And some folks will request earphones so that they can tune out any outside or inside noise that would distract them from giving a good lecture. And basically, the basic webinar is what we're doing now. I'm actually using a PowerPoint presentation to deliver some valuable information for your business. Could be for personal use, could be for any type of method that you were thinking of to enhance your business. And if you're not business oriented and you're doing it for like a fundraiser or a church event or nonprofit, anything where you need to provide information to people and not be concerned about having to get a venue and rent equipment and make sure people arrive on time and all those kinds of things that go with a traditional type of classroom setting or presentation setting. Webinars are strictly done online and in the convenience of your home or your office, and those who are attending it can be conveniently sitting in their home or their office. So it's a really great piece of technology that has really taken off in the last few years, and companies are using them for all kinds of reasons. And that's why we thought it would be important to do a show on this topic so that you could start doing them if you were thinking about it, and start doing them without spending any extra money. So Where will you conduct your webinar? As you can see in the illustration, Rick and I do ours right in a spare bedroom. We call it the studio. We have our television, our flat screen, smart TV in the background, which you can use, depending on what kind of equipment you have, you can get really good detail and have your presentation up on the back of the wall, and then people can see you as you're actually talking. But any format, you could take a little, you could do it in the bathroom if you had to, and in front of the shower curtain that would look like a backdraft if you dance it up a little bit. So it could be done in any small area. You really purposely only need your laptop or your desktop with the webcam hooked to it. But like I said, as you can see, you can do them right in the comfort of your home, any space that's really comfortable for you. What kind of software do you need? Well, we do a couple of things, and they're all free. And so freeconferencecall.com is a really, really cool program. It's free, and it's been around for a long time, and it allows your audience to hear and see your webinar. You can also collect email addresses from your audience members, and it allows your audience to participate in the webinar with questions. You can upload files for each participant to download before the webinar. And these are some of the features that it has. It will do screen sharing. You are going to get a dedicated number that your audience members will call. Usually it's not toll free, but everything is, free now. Everybody's telephone plan allows you for, unlimited calling. You also get free call recording, so you can record the videos and the audio. You can do video, of course. It'll give you some detail on the reports. And then they also have 24/7 customer service and multiple sharing options. Now, I kind of use the free conference call for my having people log in and being able to access the webinar live while I'm doing it. There's also a program called Screen-O-Matic. This software allows you to record the webinar and store the recorded webinars for future viewing. Now, this is really, really cool. We use it in a number of different ways. In fact, right now, I've recorded this show using Screencast-O-Matic, and it is a free program, but there are limitations on how long you can record. I believe it's up to 40 minutes. Now, if you're doing anything longer than 40 minutes, you'll have to buy the Pro version, and that also gives you storage space. It also allows you to have some additional hosting features that come along with the program. Now, this program I highly recommend because, like I said, it is free. I want to tell you how we use it in our private vocational school back in New Jersey. We actually have our teachers record their lectures every single time. And once the lecture is completed, it is uploaded to our uploaded site. And that's the space that comes with your Pro package. And it'll create a link so that you can email that link to all the students in the training program. And then they can watch the recorded lecture anytime after class is over or during class later in the afternoon. We are a full day session, so we're in session from 9 a.m. to 4:30, and lectures usually done around 10:30. And so students will take their lunch break, and maybe when they come back, they want to review the lecture rather than asking the teacher the questions over and over again. Some people are intimidated by that factor, and they feel so comfortable with being able to revisit the lecture. And it uploads within 10-15 minutes after the lecture has been completed. And the students put on their earphones and they listen to the lecture, and they can start and stop it at any point that they like. And you can do the same thing with webinars. And so you can do a webinar, and one of the features of your webinar business is that you will send them the recorded version of it, and they can watch it over and over again if they would like. You want to be real careful because they can also share it, and then other people would get your webinar for absolutely free. So you may want to be real careful about that. But if that is something that you really are interested in doing, it is a great program. And by the way, to get the pro version, I think it's only like $99 a year, so it's very affordable, very inexpensive. And so here we have what we call my open office. Now, most people will create their webinars using a PowerPoint presentation. And the PowerPoint presentation is like your visual. Now, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use PowerPoint. You could be demonstrating something right off the internet, and you could be right in the internet using Screen-O-Matic to record it and showing everybody everything that you're trying to do. But we did say this was a way to do webinars with absolutely no charge involved. And so if you don't have PowerPoint or the Microsoft Office package, you can use OpenOffice, which is a free program, and it includes the presentation program, which is similar to PowerPoint, and you can create that your webinars using this software, and it just acts really just like PowerPoint, and it'll definitely have that comfort that you would if you had to buy a program like Microsoft Office. The other software that you would need is well, actually, our company has used 2 programs to successfully conduct our webinars for the following costs free. Like we talked about the webinar recording software, which was the Screen-O-Matic, and then we talked about the webinar conference call software, which allows you to call people to call in so they could be live, and then of course the presentation software. So for all of free, you can get started right away with your webinars, and I tell you, they are very they can be made to be very interesting, very educational, very changing how you do business, because there's always a great positive end to providing information to people about your product that you wouldn't normally get the chance to, because you can't reach everybody all the time. But imagine sending out an email to your email list and being able to send them a link, and not only are you giving them information about your business, but you're also educating them about something in your business, like maybe how to create a spreadsheet that would allow you to keep track of your fundraising efforts. If you're actually providing that service, you may want to give them a introduction on how Microsoft Excel could really benefit their fundraising efforts. And then of course they would need someone that would come in and give them more advanced training, and they would hire you. So you can use it as a lead in to doing business with the company, and you're providing them a complimentary educational format. And companies are always looking for education for their employees so that they can do a better job, be more efficient, be more effective, and of course that leads to cost effectiveness. So definitely you would want to take advantage of doing some type of webinars for your company, just to get more customers and to also prove that you're capable, because there's so much competition out there today. And you really want to spend your money. If you're seeking a consultant, you want to spend your money as wisely as you possibly can. And what better way to show the potential customer what you're capable of in doing a webinar that you send over to them that they can view at their leisure, and probably use in the future, because they can share it with their employees, because it's an educational moment. Now, there's other webinar software out there. We talked about some of the freebies. These are also free. However, they're only free for 30, maybe 60 days. The 2 most popular are Webinar Jam and Webinar Ninja. Which one would I recommend? Well, until you get several successful webinars under your belt, I highly recommend using the free software. And when you're ready to upgrade, choose one of these or look at any new software that may become available, because these guys are, I wouldn't say that they're very expensive, but they're not inexpensive either. So let's talk about Webinar Jam. As you can see, everything's moving on the screen. It's a really cool program, and it is. It runs you about $33.08 per month, and you have to pay that annually. So that's how most of these advertising companies that provide services to small businesses, they tell you what the price is per month, and you automatically think, well, I could spend this per month, but then the catch is you have to pay it annually. And if you just do the math, there's 12 months in a year. Even if we just went 10 months, right there, it's going to be over $300. And so you have to pay that up front. Now, we've actually purchased Webinar Jam, and we're using it. It's got some glitches. It's had some glitches from the beginning. In fact, we're still using it to a degree. They're trying to fix the problem, so we're trying to hang in there with them. But there is a strong learning curve with this company. So if you're looking for something easy and quick, like the 2 programs I told you about for free, you may want to reconsider. And you also have to take into consideration that these programs are more powerful and they do a whole lot more. So you got to learn how to do all these great things that they advertise are so user friendly and great for your business, and especially if you're doing webinars as a source of income. You could do this. You can got all these bells and whistles, and they give you all these free bonus training and all of that. But it takes time, and it takes, it's like doing an online class. If you don't have anybody to ask the questions, you're learning on your own pretty much. They do have support system in place. They do what they call, I think it's called Webinar Tuesdays, or Webinar Jam Tuesdays is what they call. And so they have live call-ins, and that's what you see here. These guys are all set up on the call, and they're kind of advertising here that, you can have up to 6 people on your call. They can, in this area, wave their hand and ask questions, and you can call on them. You can even click this button here, and it'll take you to that person, and you can hear them speak. So it is a powerful program. And once you actually do your live webinars, they automatically get loaded over to YouTube, and you can actually, from that format, look at them on your desktop, your tablet, your any smart device. So it is, in a sense, worth that $33 a month, especially if you're very serious about doing these types of webinars. However, you definitely want to get your best dollar for your buck, because you may be 2 or 3, I would say at least a month, trying to figure out how to get things up and running smoothly without any glitches. So if you've got that time, and $33 a month to do that is not too bad. But if it goes any longer than that, you may want to reconsider. But it is a powerful program. Now, the next one we talked about, Webinar Ninja, it is only free for 14 days, whereas Webinar Jam is free for 30 days. Now, that 14-day trial with Webinar Ninja is a short period of time, so you really got to get in there. But I'm telling you, the learning curve is not as drastic as Webinar Jam. You get in, you set up, and it's kind of cool. The only reason why we don't have it is because of that monthly rate. And I'm telling you, $45 is a little bit too much for my pocket, especially if you're doing webinars that are more educational and free. If you're doing webinars that people are paying $100, $200, then it's a low-cost amount. That's the starter version. The pro version is $85 per month, and you can have up to 200 live attendees. All of them are unlimited webinars for Webinar Ninja. The features are about the same. The only reason you pay more is simply because you're going to have more people attending. So if you got a strong business and you're doing 500 attendees at $100 a month webinar per person, $155 is just peanuts. So, but if you're brand new at this, you're just trying to build your clientele and your following. So the $45, which is up to 100 live attendees, is probably going to be more appropriate. However, the price is depending on, how much, feedback you're going to have, how many people you're going to have on your webinars, and of course, if they're going to be paying. So you might have a group rate from a company, or you might have individual rates. Just make sure we do a class on how to price your product and how to make a profit. and also how to determine if you're making a profit, because just because you sold something for $100 doesn't mean that, especially when it comes to a webinar, it may cost you $45 a month for the entire group. So you're figuring it's $45 overhead, and then if you're spending $100 per person, that first $50 is for overhead, and the rest is, which is not true, because you're paying an internet connection, you've got materials and labor and all kinds of things that you put into this webinar series business. And so you've got to know how to price them. And you need to price them so that you get customers to attend, but you also make money as well. And so, because we do live webinars, let me just go back for a minute. Because we do live webinars on the platform of using Screen-O-Matic, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the doing them live versus doing them reoccurring, because the live webinars are more of a get your question answered right then and there. You're not waiting for email. You're not really having anybody come in and ask questions after the fact, and their question's not really clear, and you're trying to figure out how to answer it, and you're spending a lot of time back and forth with webinars and all that. So I really definitely recommend doing the live. You just have to create that question and answer period at the end of the webinar so that you're allowing time so that you can get those clear questions in. And if you're an email person and you like questions coming through email, you just don't want to spend the time talking and lengthening your webinar, and you prefer, especially if you get a lot of the same questions, you prefer to do it over the internet with the email, that's fine as well. However, I just wanted to point out a couple of factors that you need to take into consideration when you are doing live webinars. You can do a lot of giveaways. You can do things when you're live to entice the customer to purchase additional product and services from you. And your ultimate goal for doing the webinars is simply to get customers. And so you can offer discounts, you can offer coupons, you can make your PowerPoint live so that you click a button and it goes right to whoever raised their hand with wanting to get access to that coupon, and everybody that's live on your call, especially using a program like Webinar Jam or Webinar Ninja. I mean, you got instant access. Whereas the recorded ones, you're able. What's really cool about that is that you're able to have someone watch your video. I mean, your webinar in the middle of the night, and you're sleeping, and you're doing business while you're sleeping. So it has its advantages and has its disadvantages, and I kind of recommend both. What I don't recommend is that live chat that you may have with potential clients, to include that in the recorded. So you may want to turn off the recording once you go to the live questions at the end, and then that way you stop it, and then you can start it back up again, and then you can edit only the questions and answers that you want to include, and put them together with the email blast that you send out for the recorded email webinar. So it has its advantages, it has its disadvantages. We've done so many webinars. One of the things I also would like to say too is that you may want to, if you're doing it live, you may want to do Facebook Live simultaneously, and that way you actually get the feedback from someone live. And I'm going to show you our website real quick so that you can see. I'm going to go over to our Facebook page and show you how I've actually put them up. Here we go on our Facebook page. And because we did them live on Facebook, we were able to get that audience that we were looking for on a live basis as well. Now, of course, they can't ask questions. Well, they could. They could scroll up at the bottom and maybe ask you a couple questions. But it's not the same as being live when they're dialed in And if you go look at our T-Bird Live radio show, you'll see where we have put them up because we have a Facebook page, T-Bird Live, and these are actually our shows as we do them, and they're live. And people will ask questions. They'll be able to contact you right after the show because it is done on Facebook, and you get to see that interaction, which is really really cool in this instance. So um, here we go with a message last week. It's a lot to learn, and thank you. So people get, they give you that feedback right away, and it's cool. So I also wanted to take a real quick before we run out of time. And Webinar Jam is really, they really push their product.
The fact is, nothing grows your business or sells you like live video. That's because live video connects you with an audience of thousands face to face. You can engage them, you can excite them, and you can interact with them. You are the star.
So look in here, you see they've got a lot of information on the website. This is the owner here, and I'm telling you, he will talk you into a frizzy about how great his product is. And you can't blame him. They just, look here, they've just said, oops, I didn't mean to get out of there. They've just there we go. They just done released a full motion HD. Let's go back again. I know he's gonna come on and start talking. So we'll keep him quiet for a minute.
Live video connects you with an audience of
he loves to talk about his business. Can't blame him. Like I said, they just released a full motion HD live broadcasting technology with increased sharp video with up to 6 presenters. So they always had 6 presenters. You can see here it's $100. It's $33, like I said, per month. And the program is just, it's got some features that are really, really cool. And here are some of them. You can password protect your webinars. Can't do that with the freebies. You can you can put everything up on the cloud so that you don't bog down your servers or anything that you're doing in terms of your hardware. You can do file sharing, which is the norm. Goes right to a signal with Facebook. This is brand new. They just put this in there. And definitely the Facebook thing is big because then you're even, you're live with whom you invited, but you're live on Facebook too. And so they also have a lot of templates, so you don't have to come up with a format and a screen section to do your webinars because they provide you with a lot of great templates. Now let's take a look at the Ninja, Webinar Ninja. Now I didn't buy this. I did buy Webinar Jam. Webinar Ninja, I didn't get. I just used the free one. But the free one I was really interested in, and but the price, like I said, just got me. Oh, and you know what? I took you here, but you got to put your email address in just to get some information on them, which that kind of bothered me because we wanted to just take a look at it before giving out your email addresses because you get filled up with all these email addresses and emails, and you don't have time to get rid of them. But it looks here like they're saying that they're working on an all new Webinar Ninja. So hey, get on the waiting list to get it. So that's what they're saying. You may want to check it out. Maybe the price will go down. I'm going to go ahead and put my email in and go ahead and sign up for it and see what they're coming up on. So, but I hope that this workshop has actually enlightened you on how easy it would be for you to actually set up your own webinars for free. Definitely, like I said, doing them for free is the best way to start. If you need any additional help, you can give the T-Bird Center a call. You can reach us at tbirdlive.com right on our website or tbirdcenter.com, and you'll be able to contact us under the contacts tab, and we'll help you as much as we can. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.